Look, listen. Right, Kaylee is she calls herself an activist, and she's been at it a long time, but she's also one of these conspiracy theory nut jobs, right?
Okay.
And I know I had to bite my tongue when she was on here. I've always said to you, I'm not on the same page as her. I'm absolutely wouldn't touch anything that she's involved with because it's bollocks. And it's been some very dangerous and very it ruined people's lives, the things that her and her little crew have been up to. And you can fact check everything, and you will find out what these people have been up to. They are obsessed with kids. They are obsessed with other people's kids for some reason. They are obsessed with child sex abuse, obsessed with it. And they were obsessed to the point where they created one of the biggest hoaxes this country has ever known. It was absolutely appalling. And they tried to ruin a man and his children via his bitter ex-wife. And there was claims of satanic ritual abuse at a school. You could look up the Hampstead hoax case.
Oh, the Hampstead Heath.
Yeah. So it all come out. I mean, it was the biggest court case. There were barristers all over the place involved. There were politicians, you name it. It was such a big thing that everybody got involved. And the conclusion was, and even from the children who are now with their dad, that none of this happened. It was all instigated by an internet group of nutcases like Kaylee, and they still won't have it. They're still going around pulling up this crap, saying that the establishment are corrupt and they're all lying. No, this is, and all this is because, I don't know, do they get some kinky thrill out of the thought of these dreadful things happening to children? Because it wasn't not happening. It went as far as, oh, they're putting children in McDonald's burgers, they're drinking children's blood. It was just like they'd watched a couple of horror stories with priests in France. So all this genuine stuff gets outed. But what they were doing was making up absolute rubbish, and they tried to ruin this man. And to this day, they still won't have it. You know, they're all such big know-it-alls that they know more than doctors and surgeons and barristers and you name it. But anyway, it was all crap.
Right. And you know what? We finally gave her a chance to speak around here, and she didn't speak nothing about herself. She only talked about other people.
Right.
So at the end of the day, this is why they never let her speak, remember?
Right.
We were trying to give her the benefit of the doubt.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I wanted her to say what had kicked off her, she says, 17 years of trolling. And we've never actually got to hear.
No.
I felt that she wasn't. Yeah, I felt that she wasn't allowed to finish speaking, and people shouted over her. So I wanted to know what this 17 years involved, and what started it, and what kicked it off. But
anything, will she?
Yeah, but right, don't forget as well. Now this is important. She's also one of these anti-vaxxers. She harassed nurses at work. She called them up. She harassed them. She was abusive to them. She reduced a nurse to tears. And this nurse is just trying to do her job. Right. She went to a hospital. She kicked off there, patients there, people who aren't well, old people there, children there. She didn't care. She went there and kicked off. She got arrested. She kicked a copper in the head. You know, it's all this conspiracy crap. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's then demanding people do what she tells them to, and her little group. You've got a this, you've got a that. So what happened was, she's on YouTube with all these videos, and we all know whether, like, we all like free speech, we all like it, but we all know that these platforms have said no to certain things. We are not going to let you do that. So it's like, Janet, you saying, when somebody turns up at your door and you say, I want you to take your shoes off at the door, right? And somebody says, I'm not doing that. I'm coming in anyway with my shoes on. That's exactly the same as what these people do to YouTube. We don't care about your terms and conditions. We're going to do it anyway. Yeah. And then they get all butthurt because YouTube pull their channels.
Yep.
Right. So she got her main channel taken down because she was talking about that almost every day when she's been told not to by YouTube. Yep. So she knew the risks. Right. So she lost that main channel. She comes back on another channel. And I thought, well, it won't be long. She's going to lose that because she's going to start gabbing about it again. She's no authority on any of this, don't forget.
Right.
So what she was doing, she was going on to other channels.
Like she tried to do.
She was on Reels also.
Yes. And she thought, right, I'll get in with the channel owner and then I can start talking about my shit again. And I don't care if I get their channel taken down. As long as someone listens to me and goes to find my new channel and goes to find me on Facebook, and she don't care what devastation she leaves behind. So I didn't say anything, Janet, because you said that she had a right to speak and you wanted to hear blah, blah, blah. I knew how it was going to end. Jupiter knew how it was going to end because we've seen it so many times. At that time, it wasn't our place to
Jupiter was here and she didn't come up here. So I guess now I'm going to have a...
Right. So that was another thing. Yeah. She brought Captain on here and he is one of the most hated people around our groups. Right now, Kaylee sat there and said, because she loves Captain, they're all over each other. Kaylee said, oh, I've been out of the loop for a while, so I've missed all this that's going on. I haven't seen anything about Captain, right, which is a fucking liar. She's a liar. But anyway, let's say that that's true. Tina come up on this panel. She had to relive, yet again, a horrendous childhood story where she explained what Captain had done to her regarding that. Captain even admitted it. And Kaylee still sat there and said, I haven't seen any evidence of Captain doing this.
Wow.
You, blah. What did she say that day? Captain contacted on the other turn of the coin. We all said, you'll be safe here, Kaylee. You know, don't worry. If you want to chit chat about the nightmare you've been through with these people, they're not going to be allowed to come in and abuse you. Blah. What did she say that day? Captain contacted her and said, get out of there. Get out of there. She posted in the side chat, no one likes me here, so I'm going. So how did she come, and why did she come to the conclusion after all what we'd said to her that no one liked her? Because I never made it obvious I didn't like her. You didn't, Janet. Nobody did. And all that was, she needed to get out of here because Captain didn't like the fact that she was making a few friends. He didn't like that. So and I said to her yesterday, it was like Captain grabbed you round the throat, dragged you out of here, threw you in the corner and told you to shut up. And that's exactly what happened. And she didn't have the bollocks to just say, well, look, regardless of what you've said about Captain and the proof that you've told about Captain's behaviour, I don't care. I still love this man. And I'm now going to go off with him and stab you all in the back. And that is what happened. That is what happens every time. And that's it. So she won't get enough. Yeah, she basically said, if you look at it on a personal level, she basically said about me that day that I didn't like her and she was leaving. Janet didn't like her, she was leaving.
Very, very good said, Moon. If I knew English better, I would say it exactly like you told everything.
Yeah,
so
well,
that's true. Everything is everything that you said is totally right and true. Because she fooled me once. Because you know.
Oh, I wasn't fooled by her. I wasn't fooled by her, Peter. I knew what was coming. I was just waiting for it.
Yeah, not on this panel. I knew it also, but I didn't write anything because I think. I thought, let's see, and people will understand in maybe 2-3 days, but it was only 1 day, and so I was a little bit surprised. But she was telling her story. I think it was unreal, and you know, every woman and man. I don't know if a man. I don't know, but I felt so sorry for her.
Yeah,
when she told her all her story, and it's very sad, you know.
Yeah.
So I went over to her channel and listened and tried to. I wrote some messages just to cheer her up. And next day she made like 5 videos again, the same videos. The next day she made like 5 videos saying the same thing, and I thought something is wrong here. And she talked about Jason and some other people I don't know, and